Faith for me began at a very young age. I think that from the moment I knew how to walk, we were always going to church. And I remember just loving learning about God, learning to pray, learning, the worship music. I loved all of that. I do remember just feeling like my siblings and I didn't really fit in with the other children our age, or just didn't really feel involved. And what ended up happening was it created this sense of, I just want to do my faith alone. I want it to be a personal relationship with God, and others aren't really needed. And I no longer really desired to go to church. And it's interesting because I always grew up with belief in Jesus. But I would say truly living like Jesus didn't really start until college.
When I think about my faith in Jesus, I think about a household where I grew up where there was a cross everywhere. I think every room had a Bible in it. We went to church Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. We were involved in the church community. And unfortunately, it was really hard for me to connect with why I should actually pursue my faith on like a level of full devotion or any kind of significant commitment, because most of my friends and family, the environment that we grew up around in was a very do as I say, but not as I do kind of environment. The Bible would say one thing, or the Christian values would say one thing, but everybody was doing something different. And so it just made it really challenging for me to look at Jesus and look at faith and go, why should I be fully committed? Because the people that are telling me are, using different substances, or, they're saying different things than what they're actually doing. And so it just seemed to me from a very young age like my own way just made more sense. Like I could believe in Jesus, I could be that good Christian guy, and what was created from that was a total double life.
I think if you would have asked me or if you would have told me that I would become a Christian in college, I would have laughed, because I feel like for me, when I envisioned going to college, I just really envisioned partying, being involved in Greek life, social, and not really much about my faith.
I was accepted into some really great schools in Florida where we're from, and I had a job while I was in college and in high school, and on the outward, everyone would have seen my life as something that they would have wanted. And yet behind closed doors, there were many nights where my just really low faith led me to many tears, crying, begging God for answers that I just felt like I wasn't getting, and couldn't see any power in Christianity around my life.
I feel like if it wasn't for other women who were fighting for their faith, who invited me to church with them, who invited me to do Bible studies, and really invited me into their life, I wouldn't be here.
Some young men coming up to me and offering to teach me the Bible when I started in college, and I was very apprehensive at first because I had no reason to believe that they were any different than everything I had experienced growing up to this point.
I remember going do I even want to do this? Because I just wanted it to be me and God. And I ended up saying yes, and that's when everything changed.
From that point on, I believe, really loved me the way that Jesus would have, and they persevered and really fought to get to know me and to be a great friend and a support and a brother. And a couple weeks later, we sat down and started reading the Bible, and they started teaching me the scriptures. And I'll never forget the moment the Bible hit me for the first time. And I even told them, I said, there's no way that I'm a real Christian, because I see what the Bible's saying here, and I don't have that kind of faith. I don't live the way that Jesus called everybody to live by.
I was able to see people fighting for their relationship with God, and they were able to motivate me, encourage me, inspire me to do the same. I remember just feeling like, wow, this is what I've always needed, but I'd always pushed away.
It was challenging. I felt angry, a bunch of different feelings, and yet I saw in front of me God giving me the first opportunity to really fight for my faith in a clear way. About a couple weeks later, I made the decision to be a Christian of my own volition and my own choice, and it was my real faith. And for the first time, I was actually fighting for my faith, not just when things were really difficult or when I felt like life was crumbling around me, but to really have real faith from day to day, not just to survive, but to really thrive with an incredible relationship with God.
The challenge came in with letting people in because I never had anyone to show me the things that I was doing that didn't please God, or to call me out on it with the Bible. So at times I actually remember rejecting help, rejecting walking with others. I even said a prayer once, like, God, I listed their names, take them out of my life so that I could just focus on my relationship with you. And He didn't do that. And I'm grateful He didn't do that, because it was really what I needed. I needed to accept the challenges that really came from God and not them, but God using them to help me be held accountable.
The men that were in my life called me to actually do it. And I'm super grateful because I saw my faith build. I remember one of the Christian brothers, he challenged me to read the Bible every day. He said, if you read the Bible every day, by the end of the week, you'll be a totally different person. Your faith will be totally different. And I remember being a little skeptical and going, all right, I'm gonna fight for this. I'm gonna fight for my faith here. I read the Bible every day and pretty much have been doing it every day since then for the past almost 10 years. And it's just totally changed my life. I'll never forget the day I really became a Christian for real. My faith was real. There was joy in my life. That whole double life disappeared. And I was able to bring all that out and say, hey, this is who I really am. And to know that Jesus has actually forgiven that and changed me into a whole different person. It really motivates me every day to fight for my faith, to get up when I fall, to push through different conditions that I have that affect my physical health, and to really be somebody that fights for my faith.
Fighting for my faith on a day-to-day basis, what that really looks like is just remembering to be humble. Remembering that I don't know everything. Always being willing to continue to allow people to point things out in areas where I can change, where I need to grow, or if I hurt someone's feelings, what I can do to make that right is really how I fight for my faith now.
It's just been amazing. It's been awesome to be married for about 4 years now. We have a little girl, and it's been amazing to see how our fight for faith daily has already helped her faith grow. I think anything that's worth having is a fight, and out of everything in this life, I think if my wife and I be convinced of anything, is what's worth having is great faith.